Hey guys, Don here. I want to do a little refresher on delegation. I recently had my friend Bill McCann, a podiatrist from New Hampshire. He came to visit the office, and he was interested in doing videos and doing different types of social media. But once again, like a lot of us, we just don't have the time, and we might not have a dedicated staff. And so that a lot of times can be the struggle as well. Jim McDonald, who does this podiatry practice mastery with me, he also didn't remember. So I figured if Jim can't remember, who helps me out, I have to share it again because no one's going to go back and look at a previous episode. So let's talk about delegation with virtual assistants. So there's a couple of places that I started. The easiest way to start is with doing task-specific work. And that would mean, let's say you need something done. So for example, if you go to my blog, drpelto.com, I had someone from Fiverr do that for me. Basically, they set up one page. I paid them, I think it's like $80. And the main challenge with this is you have to know what you want. I just kind of wanted it done, and he asked me all of these real specifics that were quite a challenge for me. So all I did is I went to a different site that I liked, and I kind of just took some screen captures of it, and I said, I kind of like this. Here's the wording I want you to put in there. Here's the link. And he did that first book for me via Fiverr. And basically I went onto Fiverr, I looked for someone that would set up a website for me. And they had experience with membership sites. That's what I wanted, like a Kajabi site. That's what I use. And so that was one of the ways of using Fiverr. Another way that I use Fiverr is I was writing these ebooks, and I could do them in Word, or I use Google Docs. And I had a struggle because I wasn't very good at laying it out. And so what I found is using this person on Fiverr, I think I paid him $15. They laid it out. They did a nice cover for me. So basically it was a PDF download of the book that I wanted. So you can do that with anything. These are task-specific jobs. These are Fiverr, okay? So you can go to Fiverr, look for anything. They've made my prescription things. I use a foot pain prescription that I use. They do a lot of things. If you just search on there, you can find a ton of stuff. It costs $10, $15, $20, maybe $80. But if you think, for doing a web page on a website, it was $80, right? It seems expensive. But then I could just copy and paste that, or what we call clone it, and I can make the other websites accordingly, or the other pages accordingly. So it was really kind of inexpensive. Now, the challenge when you're using Fiverr, for example, you have to be patient, right? I think a lot of us, we get in these marketing, frenzies where we want to do everything and we want the answers and everything done right now, but it might take them 2, 3, 4 to 5 days or a week. And so you have to kind of plan it out when you're doing that. So that's the way to use Fiverr, okay? Let's talk about kind of task-specific work. So there's something else called Fancy Hands, and fancyhands.com. It's a subscription. Once again, I think we pay maybe $30 or $40 a month, and I get so many tasks. Now, these tasks are 20 minutes worth of work, and so I send these Fancy Hands people just stuff to do. And it's neat because you can do it via email or you can do it via text message. And I'll give you an example. I wanted to buy a kayak for my kids, and I had them search around on Craigslist and find a kayak. I didn't want to spend 20 minutes looking for a kayak on Craigslist or find the best price or something. They can schedule flights for you. They can kind of find the best price for flights. I was visiting a doctor the other day, and I wanted to send him a book afterwards. And so I said, please send the book to this doctor. And they did that. They send it. Now, there's a little thing that's cool where they send you a text message. Do you authorize payment of this amount, like $20 for the book or something like that? And so it's a way of doing these tasks that just kind of take you a little bit more time, and you want to just kind of get it done. Now, if you have an executive assistant to do all these things for you, that's fine, or an office manager that can do it, that's great. I just don't have that. They're kind of overwhelmed doing all these other things. So that's another way I use Fancy Hands. And then pretty much the sky is the limit. Whatever you need done for personal tasks, but also for marketing tasks. For a while, I used them to update my blog. I had them do video work on YouTube. I had them do a lot of these other things. Now, the neat thing about doing Fancy Hands is you learn to be a better communicator. I think a lot of us, or maybe it's just me, I have a hard time really explaining what I want. and I just kind of want it done, and I don't want to explain it to anyone. With Fancy Hands, you have to be very clear what you want. So there's a couple tips for you. One is you could do a little screen video. Loom, loom.com is a way you can make like a 5-minute video. So you actually show them, if it's a visual thing on a computer you want them to do, you can show them in a 5-minute video, and you send them that. You can actually write it out in like a Google Doc, so you have a lot of these written out explanations. And the neat thing is, if these are continuous things, like let's say blog maintenance or video editing or making thumbnails, you just kind of write it once, get it really, really well explained by doing it a couple of times. It's not going to be good the first time, just so you know. They'll come back with questions, and then you'll edit your list, or you can ask them to edit the list. And then it makes it a really good way for doing these things that are very repetitive. Okay, and then the last way of doing to use like a virtual assistant. I actually have an actual virtual assistant. She's a girl that helps from my church, and she does these things, like these different tasks. And so what I did with her is I set up an account on Trello, Trello, and that's just kind of like a task management. So I had kind of to do, doing, and done. These are different tasks, and then paid. So I have these different columns. So to do, I'll put like a task for her. So for example, earlier this week, I recorded a whole bunch of YouTube videos. And basically I had a whole bunch of Google Slides. I set them up. I recorded them kind of one after another. And then I've already taught her how to do the thumbnails for the YouTube videos. I've already taught her how to do the descriptions for the thumbnails. And so she does that for me, and I just pay her by the hour. So I pay her $13 an hour. But she does all of that, and I explain and teach her one time how to do it, and she just does it. So it makes it a lot easier. And then however many tasks I have, she kind of does it on the side for me. So there's a few ways of delegating to other people, okay, and kind of doing virtual assistants, or she's a real assistant, but she's just not in my office. I'd like to hear how you guys do things differently. Please either leave a message on this podcast or email me, don@podiatrypracticemastery.com. But those are some ways of getting stuff done without you having to do it. Okay, have a great day. Thanks, guys.